I've been given this product free in return for a fair review. This is a sharpening stone provided by Dailyart. It's well packaged, so the instructions are on the side of the box. Inside the box we've got the sharpener. So it's got a rubberized grip on the top with the retailer's name. The steel work is all stainless steel. Underneath it's got a plastic base with two rubberized grips, and there you've got the three sharpening stations: coarse, medium and fine. I've been really excited about this item arriving because my knives are in desperate need of sharpening, so we'll see how well the product performs. First impressions are very good. It feels very well made. It's a little bit light, it's not as heavy as I was expecting, but it's got a very solid feel to it. So just had a little bit of a play with it, and one thing I will say is when you put this thing down on the worktop, it doesn't move. I mean, obviously it'll move if you take the pressure off, but if you push down on it, it is not going to move. It is really solid. So the instructions say to firmly hold the handle with the non-slip base close to the edge of a solid bench top. So basically start from left to right, depending on how blunt the knife is. So 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 3, or 3, depending on what state the knife is in. I am pressing down very, very slightly. I'm not pressing down hard, but that is just sliding around that tomato. So what we'll do is we'll sharpen the knife and we'll see whether it works. What I might do is just go through fine first, because this blade doesn't look like it's in too bad condition. Oh yes, I don't know whether you guys can see that, but that is just with very little pressure. I'll try and take a really thin sliver off. Can't see what I'm doing because I'm actually working at the side of the camera. Now that is brilliant. I'm really, really impressed with that. This is my kind of go-to knife. You know, everybody's got a favourite knife. Well, this one's my favourite knife. I use it all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'll see what it's like on the tomato, whether it's worth sharpening, and we might be able to see the difference, we might not. But I'll try cutting a sliver off the tomato now before I put it through the sharpener, and then we'll run it through the sharpener if it looks like it's going to do some good, and we'll see what happens. So it is going to do it. I can feel it is going to cut, but it's not easy. And it has achieved the objective of cutting a thin sliver off, but it wasn't easy. So I'll give that a wipe and we'll see what it's like when I run it through the sharpener. And again, it's really difficult for me to do this because I'm at the wrong angle when I'm trying to film it. Now I'm going to put the knife on, we'll see. Oh, you can see that's just cut straight into, it's not even dipped it down. So I'll try and, I don't know whether you can see, I've not got my hands holding that, but I'm not really putting any downward pressure on, and it's cutting through that tomato. It's difficult to keep it in the right position. That's kind of gone through with the weight of the knife. That is brilliant. I am very, very impressed with that. So this is a Sabatier cleaver. I've had it many, many years. I've never really used it. It wasn't particularly sharp when I got it, and I kind of put it in the drawer, and it's been in the drawer and never really used, only 2 or 3 times in its life. So the first thing we'll do is try the tomato test. I am literally not putting any force on that, and it's gliding across. In fact, you can see it's dinted the top of the tomato. So I think with this one I'm going to go through all 3 of the processes. So this is a coarse, and you can really tell when you go through the coarse that it's taking some steel off the blade. You can feel that it's removing steel off the blade. One thing I will say if you're sharpening knives is to remember to go the full length, and if you're sharpening a knife with a curve, pull the blade up as you're going through the curve so it sharpens the full length. And then I'm going into the medium one. So I've done coarse, and there is a definite difference in the way it feels when it's being pulled through each grade. That's nowhere near as aggressive as the coarse one. Let's go through the fine and see what happens. Trying to keep the knife vertical as I'm running it through, because if you don't keep the knife vertical you'll adjust the angle. Don't think it's ultra vital, but I think it will improve the way it performs. So I've been sharpening that for about 5 minutes, I reckon, and it is starting to get sharp. Now I think because of the way the blade is designed, it's going to be very difficult to get it to cut a sliver of tomato off, with the fact that the bevel on both sides of the blade is quite steep. But it is definitely, if I go on the edge there, it's not as sharp as a knife, and I think that if I spent a bit more time on it, it would be, but I'm trying to cut off a wafer of tomato. Now, yeah, so that's quite impressive, because it's taken it from completely blunt to cutting a sliver of tomato off. That is sharp. Very, very shocked that it's done that, actually, because there was an awful lot to be removed from that cleaver to make it sharp. Now let's try a cheap knife, and that is definitely not cutting the tomato. And when you're sharpening a straight knife, people have been saying that it doesn't sharpen the full length, and that's because you've got to tilt the knife up when you come to the end, so it sharpens around the curve. When you're running it through the coarse slot, there's a lot of resistance. It is definitely grinding off some steel, so I think that looks okay. We'll go for medium. Ooh, I can feel it grinding the bears off that. Again, I'm remembering to tilt the blade upwards, and then the more I'm using this, the more confident I'm getting with it. That's taken a minute or so. Oh, look at that. Just look at that. Can you see how thin that is? I'm actually cutting down through the tomato from the inside. It's absolutely brilliant. I am really, really surprised. I certainly was not expecting results like that. It's suitable for left hand or right hand use, and to make life simple, the slots are marked on both sides, which is a nice touch. So it's obviously designed for left and right hand use. And the other thing to point out is, because of the bright red, when it's inside your knife drawer, it's going to be very easy to find. Some really nice touches there. So there we are, the Dailyart Diamond Sharpener. It's very solid and well made. The rubber feet provide excellent grip when you're using it. But I think the thing that you've got to say is it's absolutely brilliant. I cannot believe how well it has performed at sharpening some of the knives I've run through it today. But for £7.99 you really cannot go wrong. It will give you a really, really sharp set of kitchen knives, which is exactly what any chef wants. So don't hesitate. If you're thinking, go for it, you won't go wrong. And thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful.